Hello, Gentle Explainer here. Today I am going to gently explain a thriller crime movie called Unlocked. Imagine if your mobile phone ever got lost and fell into the hands of a stranger, and you dismissed it as just that. But what if, because of that phone, your private life became the plaything of a psycho? This story is about a beautiful girl whose phone accidentally gets lost. But it wasn't just about losing her phone, it was about losing her entire private life. The phone falls into the hands of a psycho guy who appears simple at first glance, but is dangerous and obsessed. He gains access to the girl's chats, photos, and naughty secrets. For him, this phone has become a treasure, a place where he can see her every heartbeat, every secret, and every desire. The story begins with a beautiful girl named Lee Nami, who is very cheerful and gets along well with everyone. Her father, Lee Seung-woo, owns a cafe where she often goes to help him, but there's always been a sense of incompleteness in her life, as her mother passed away when she was a child. Nami always wakes up to her phone alarm and is so attached to it that she can't bear to be without it, even for a moment. But one night, she carelessly leaves her phone in the subway, and then a stranger finds it. The next morning, Nami's best friend, Yoon-ju, comes to her house and wakes her up. As soon as Nami wakes up, she starts looking for her phone, and when she can't find it, she becomes worried. She immediately calls her phone, and the same boy, Jun-yeong, responds with an AI-like voice. "I found your phone on the subway. If you tell me the address, I'll take you there." Nami asks, "If you don't mind, can you bring this phone to my father's cafe?" Jun-yeong agrees, but as soon as the call is disconnected, he tries to unlock the phone. When he can't, he breaks it. Meanwhile, the police in this town find the dead body of a girl in the woods. It's deeply decomposed, and the rain has washed away all evidence, making it difficult to find the killer. However, the investigating officer on the case, Detective Woo Ji-man, finds something nearby that makes him suspect that Jun-yeong might have committed the murder. In fact, Jun-yeong is the same boy who found Nami's phone. Nami is helping her father at the cafe when Jun-yeong calls her again, and this time, in a changed voice, he says, "Your phone was accidentally broken, but I've given it to a repair shop. I'm giving you the address. You can collect it from there." A short while later, Nami arrives at the shop where Jun-yeong, claiming to be an employee, appears. He wears a cap and mask, preventing Nami from recognizing him. He makes Nami fill out a form, requiring her to enter her details and the phone's security code. Once Jun-yeong receives the code, he installs spyware on the phone while repairing it, clones it, and returns it to her. Nami has no idea who she's talking to or who her friends are. Even her phone's camera is now under Jun-yeong's control. Imagine how far a boy can go if he can track a girl's every moment like this. The next evening, Jun-yeong arrives at Nami's cafe, but she doesn't recognize him because he was wearing a mask in the repair shop. Jun-yeong asks for the special drink that Lee Seung-woo used to make just for Nami. Nami brings it to him, but by now, Jun-yeong has learned all of her likes and dislikes. He talks very nicely and says, "I actually work at a software company." Nami is very impressed because Jun-yeong is being so nice, but when Lee Seung-woo sees him talking, he asks Nami, "Do you know him?" She says, "No, he's just been coming to our cafe for a few days." That night, we see Jun-yeong monitoring Nami's every activity, including what she's looking at on her phone and who she's messaging. Here, we learn that Jun-yeong has preyed on many girls in this way, and now it's Nami's turn. But why does such a cute-looking boy do all this? And what is the real truth? We'll soon find out. The next morning, Nami is late for work. She's a very capable employee at an advertising company. Her boss, Park Dae-ho, trusts her completely and tells her, "You'll now have to work on a big project that will double your salary. But don't tell anyone at work about this, or it'll be a disaster." Nami is happy, saying, "Okay, I won't tell anyone." Meanwhile, Detective Woo Ji-man tells his wife, Han Mi-kyung, "I suspect our son, Jun-yeong, may have killed that girl. That's why she's missing now." But Han Mi-kyung denies it, saying, "What are you saying? Our son couldn't do such a thing. I know my son very well. He works in a mobile repair shop." Meanwhile, Woo Ji-man receives a message from his assistant, Kim Min-soo, saying they've located Jun-yeong. He immediately arrives and begins searching Jun-yeong's house, entering through the back door. There, he finds several pieces of evidence, including a photo of the girl whose body was found in the woods. He also finds several other girls' phones lying around. But Jun-yeong is about to arrive home, and he senses from outside that someone is inside. He peeks through the window and sees his dad. Now that all the evidence has been collected, he could be caught. So, from outside, he texts him and sends a photo, which makes Woo-ji-man understand that Jun-yeong is nearby. He immediately comes out and starts searching for him to catch him, but Jun-yeong manages to trick them into coming inside and destroys all the evidence. Afterward, Jun-yeong goes back to Lee Sung-woo's cafe and asks for a drink. Sung-woo refuses, saying, "We don't make these drinks for sale." Jun-yeong says, "I come here every day, and I had this drink just yesterday." Sung-woo knew he was lying, but he gave it to him anyway. During the visit, he also speaks with Nami. On the way home, Lee Sung-woo warns his daughter, "That boy's actions are not right. Stay away from him. He's only been to our shop twice, but he knows everything about us." Nami replies, "You're unnecessarily suspicious. He's a really nice guy." Meanwhile, Jun-yeong, listening to their conversation, understands that Sung-woo could be a threat. That very night, he impersonates Nami and messages Sung-woo, sending a link to install spyware on his phone, allowing him to track the activities of both Nami and her father. A short while later, he lures Sung-woo out under some pretext, sneaks in, and attacks him from behind. He imprisons them and takes up residence in the house himself. He then sends abusive and bizarre messages to everyone in the office using Nami's name. He even leaks the information about the double salary, which Park Dae-ho had forbidden her to share. Meanwhile, the police find 8 more dead bodies near a hill, exposed to the mud by the rain, further complicating the case. Nami wakes up the next morning and reads the messages on her phone, shocked to discover who sent such messages. Worried, she rushes to the office, but things have escalated, and everyone is calling for her to be fired. Nami tries to convince Park Dae-ho that someone has misused her phone, but her boss, in a rage, pushes her out and closes the door. Nami is devastated by how this all happened. Crying, she goes to her best friend and tells her everything. Yoon-ju immediately takes her to the police station and files a report, saying, "We need to find the person who hacked Nami's phone." The officer replies, "This all happened online, so it's impossible to catch such a suspect." Hearing this, both of them become very angry, but it's to no avail. A short while later, Nami receives a message from her father, saying, "I have some work to do today, so I won't be able to come to the cafe." In reality, Jun-yeong was sending this message so that Nami wouldn't suspect her father was missing. Meanwhile, Nami and Eun-ju go to the cafe and sit down and discuss who could have done all this. Just then, Jun-yeong arrives, and Nami thinks he might be able to help as he's a software engineer. So, she tells Jun-yeong everything and hands him her phone. After checking the phone, Jun-yeong says, "Spyware has been installed on your phone. It's a program that allows the other person to control everything on your phone, including your location, calls, and messages." Then, he quietly calls Nami out and says, "This must have been done by someone you trust completely, who knows everything about you, including your phone password." Just then, Nami sees Yoon-ju secretly filming them, which arouses Nami's suspicion. She then goes inside, where her friend begins to tell her about the dead bodies found in the mountain. But Nami asks, "Did you do all this to me? Because you know everything about me." Yoon-ju replies, "How could you even imagine I would do this to you?" She becomes angry, saying, "If you think I did this to you, being your best friend, then put me in jail." With that, she walks away, crying. Jun-yeong, standing outside, witnesses all this, wishing Nami was completely alone to make his work easier. During the night, Nami feels a deep sense of guilt, thinking perhaps she shouldn't have suspected her best friend. Angry at herself, she throws her phone to the ground, shattering it. Meanwhile, Woo-ji-man is worried about the 8 bodies found on the mountain. He tells Kim Min-soo that he found evidence in Jun-yeong's house, and that he's the one behind all this. If he's not stopped, countless lives will be lost. While investigating, they arrive at Jun-yeong's mobile repair shop, where he used to install spyware on people's phones. There, they find the names and details of the 8 customers whose bodies were found on the mountain. Woo-ji-man says he saw details of another girl named Nami at Jun-yeong's house, but he destroyed the evidence. Kim Min-soo says, "This means Nami is his next victim, but we can still save her." Suddenly, Nami arrives to get her phone repaired, and Woo-ji-man reveals the truth. It was none other than Jun-yeong who installed the spyware on her phone. Nami becomes angry and says, "He pretended to be nice to me all this time, but I never suspected anything. He took away my job and alienated my best friend. Now I won't leave him." Then, She makes a plan with Woo Ji-man. I'll invite him to the cafe and use this phone so he doesn't get suspicious. And you guys can catch him. Woo Ji-man likes the plan and she texts Jun-yeong to the cafe. And he waits outside with Kim Min-soo. But Jun-yeong understands something is wrong because he hasn't received any updates since Nami's phone broke. Now, after receiving the message, he becomes alert and replaces his glasses with lenses, changes his appearance, and goes to meet her in a new avatar. As he gets out of the car, Woo Ji-man and Kim Min-soo stop him and hold him at gunpoint, but they don't recognize him. Now, Jun-yeong changes his voice slightly and becomes angry, saying, "You're a policeman, so would you harass a civilian like that? I'll report you." Hearing this, the two let him go, and Jun-yeong easily escapes. They then begin discussing why Jun-yeong didn't come. Meanwhile, a call comes from the police station confirming that Jun-yeong is the real killer and that Jun-yeong is Woo Ji-man's son. Therefore, Woo Ji-man has been removed from the case. But he is determined to arrest Jun-yeong himself, even if he is his son. Meanwhile, Nami removes the SIM card and memory card from her phone and installs them in a new one, as she can't take any more risks. Woo Ji-man then drops her off at her father's house to keep her safe. Upon leaving, he gives her his card, saying, "If there's any problem, just a missed call or text will get us there quickly." Nami then arrives home, where her father is sleeping. Without waking him, she goes into another room. Just then, she receives a message from Jun-yeong saying he couldn't come to the cafe today because he had some important work to do. Nami immediately calls, but then she hears a phone ringing from the upper floor. She panics, thinking Jun-yeong is inside the house. And this is where the story takes a dangerous turn. She runs to her father's room, but he's gone. In a panic, she's about to call Woo Ji-man, but Jun-yeong had hacked this phone too, and now she was in a terrible trap. As she comes into the hall, she sees Jun-yeong standing in front of her and asks about her father. Jun-yeong shows her a video of Lee Sung-woo tied up and a knife at his neck. Terrified, Nami says, "Please don't do anything to my father. I'll do whatever you say." Jun-yeong tells her to first message Woo Ji-man that everything was fine and there was no need to worry. Nami obliges. He then takes her to the bathroom where her father is tied up and in the tub. He then forces Nami to tie herself up too. Nami, filled with fear and anger, asks, "Why do you do this? And what do you get out of it?" He replies, "You won't understand that. I just enjoy seeing beautiful girls suffer." He then tapes Nami's mouth shut and puts her in the tub to die with her father. Smiling like a psycho killer, he takes a final photo of Nami, just like he does with all his victims. Then, when he comes to the hall, he finds Woo Ji-man's card, which says, "If you're in trouble, just give me a missed call or text." Seeing this, Jun-yeong realizes he's trapped. Just then, he hears noises from outside, where Woo Ji-man and Kim Min-soo had already entered the house. Just as Jun-yeong is about to attack Kim Min-soo, Woo Ji-man points a gun at him. He furiously beats him and asks, "Who are you? And where is Jun-yeong?" The killer replies, "Dad, I'm your son. Don't kill me." Meanwhile, Kim Min-soo rescues Nami and Lee Seung-woo from the water, but Seung-woo's condition has worsened. Unsure, Woo Ji-man begins checking the killer's bag, and this is where the story's biggest twist unfolds. He finds a phone call from his real son, Jun-yeong. This means the killer killed the real Jun-yeong long ago, and then, after undergoing surgery, pretended to be Jun-yeong. The real Jun-yeong was actually a good boy who was returning to his parents one day, but this imposter killed him. In a fit of rage, Woo Ji-man is about to shoot the imposter, but the killer laughs and says, "If you kill me, who will talk to your wife as Jun-yeong?" Hearing this, Woo Ji-man is compelled, but then Nami arrives, takes a gun, and shoots him dead. Nami and her father are then taken to the hospital, and the killer's true identity is revealed. He was an impersonator disguised as Jun-yeong, and that's where the story ends. I hope you liked this movie explain video. If you want to see more similar movie explain videos, then you can watch this video by clicking here. Now I go and see you in the next video.